Madam Chair, we should be all set.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome. I'm Senator Ruth Ward from Senate District 8. Today we'll be holding a meeting of the Senate Education Committee. Before we get started, I'll read through a checklist to ensure that the meeting we are holding is in compliance with the Right to Know law. As chair of the Education Committee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04 and its extension, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. In accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that, 1, we are providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possible by video and other electronic means. We are utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the committee and selected legislative staff have the ability to communicate temporaneously in this meeting through this platform. And the public has access to contemporaneously watch and or listen for the meeting on Zoom or YouTube via phone by following the directions and links provided on the General Court website. 2, we have provided public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting in the Senate calendar. 3, we are providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anyone has a problem, please email remotesenate@leg.state.nh.us or call 603-271-6931. 4, in the event the public is unable to access the meeting, will be adjourned and rescheduled. 5, please note that all votes taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. And 6, finally, let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state where they are and if anyone else is in the room with you during the meeting, which is required under the Right to Know law. I will call the roll. Senator Hennessy.
Good morning, Erin Hennessy from Littleton. I am in my car and I am alone.
Senator Ricciardi.
Good morning. I am in our home in Bedford. I'm alone in the room. My husband is in the house.
Senator Khan. You're muted.
Sorry, present in Keene, at home by myself.
Senator Prentice.
Good morning, Senator Prentice, broadcasting live from West Lebanon, New Hampshire. I'm alone in this room, but my husband is in the house.
And I am Ruth Ward, Senator from the 8th District, and I'm in my home and started, and I am alone in the room. Okay, let's start the meeting. We are starting with House Bill 242.
Madam Chair, do we want a
Yes.
motion to go into exec?
Oh, that's right. Do I have a motion to go? Yes, Senator Prentice will go into executive session. A second? Second, Ricciardi. Okay, Senator Hennessy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. So the amendment that we had amended to be a committee amendment last week for House
Senator
Bill
Hennessy.
240.
Senator Hennessy, Senator, we
Yes.
have to vote on going into executive session.
Oh,
first.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes.
Senator Shardy,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
and Senator Ward, yes. Now we can start, right? So HB 242, we voted on that last time, but it's a problem with the amendment. So Senator Hennessy, do you want to?
Madam
Sure.
Chair,
Good morning
I am
again,
so
everyone.
sorry, Madam Chair. We just need to motion to reconsider the bill before we get into discussing amendments.
I need
I
a
move
motion.
reconsideration of HB 242.
Do I have a second? Senator Prentice. Okay, We have to vote. Senator Rishardi,
Yes,
Senator Khan,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes,
Senator Hennessy,
Yes,
and the chair votes yes. Now, we have to vote on what to do with the bill.
We need a motion.
A
on-
motion on the bill. Do we have
Madam
a
Chair.
motion? Yes,
I move amendment 1044S.
we have to vote on the bill first. So do I have a motion what to do with the bill? Last time we have ought to pass. Do you want to go for ought to pass this time or something
Yes,
else?
I move ought to pass.
Okay,
We have
ought
a
to
second.
pass by Senator Hennessy, second. I'll second it. Okay,
Perfect.
vote. Senator Rishardi,
yes,
Senator Prentice,
No.
Whoa, what are we doing?
we are redoing the bill. So we are voting to reconsider the bill before
Right.
we take up the new amendment.
Can we put the amendment on the screen?
Sure, I would be happy to do that. So just to, we're all on the same page, someone moved to reconsider. It was seconded by Senator Prentice, 5-0. Then we needed a motion on the bill at hand, which is ought to pass. We had a first made by Senator Hennessy and a second by Senator Ward. And now it's discussion and amendments. And I am happy to screen share the amendment right now for Senator Hennessy and Senator Khan.
I assume we've gotten the amendment. But I
It's the
haven't.
same amendment.
Same amendment as we saw last week.
have the number again, Ava?
1044S.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it right.
Senator Hennessy,
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I would like to move Amendment 1044S. This is the same amendment, or actually we'll need a second, right?
I'll second it.
Thank you. This is the same amendment that we discussed last week, that we made a committee amendment to. And the committee amendment removed the two last lines of this amendment. And in further discussion with OLS, they noted that although our intent was to make sure that as rules changed or were set, that they would be mirrored. The State Board of Education does need to have the authority to adopt rules, even though we want them to be the same rules for the rules to be consistent with the State Board of Education pursuant to RSA 541A relative to the approval of alternative programs for granting credit learning leading to graduation. So my intent was to make sure that the rules were the same, which is what Carl Ladd had asked for. And without having the rule-making authority, they wouldn't be able to make sure that they're the same if the rules were to change. So we actually need that in there. Sorry if I'm not being clear.
So sorry.
Senator Prentice,
Just follow up with Senator Hennessy. So we do need this in order for rulemaking to take place, and Carl Ladd had asked for that?
Carl Ladd had asked for the section C,
Okay,
and in order for section C to be there, we do need section D.
all right.
So I could have brought this as a floor amendment in session last week, but just in case, it was easier just to fix in committee rather than take up a lot of time
Yep.
on the Senate floor.
now Ava, when you put that screen up or to put the thing up, I lost my view here, so I have to go out quickly and come back.
Okay, I can stop screen sharing if we're all set. That way you don't have to change anything.
I don't know if I'll get it back, but I can try.
Oh, I mean, I can stop screen sharing. Let's see if that helps you first.
Okay,
Did that help you?
Nope.
Oh,
I'll just be right back. In the meantime, Senator Hennessy, if there are any other discussions, would you handle them, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll express my concern about this. Does anyone know how many credits can be transferred from an alternative approved program currently? Is there a cap on that?
I was told that it was 30%, but perhaps someone from the Department of Education is here that can confirm that for me.
I concur with your opinion on that.
so I do see Diana Fenton under attendees. And Steve Appleby. I don't know if either of them are able or willing to speak to that question, but neither of them have their hands raised.
I believe.
Oh, Diana Fenton has her hands raised.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Fenton, for joining us today. Are you able to answer that question for Senator Khan?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't. I don't know if you want to thank me for attending because I don't have the answer, but I can tell you that Melissa White will be joining as soon as she's able, and I think she will have that answer. What I can do is see if I can confirm what the current belief is, the 30% that Senator Khan referenced, and get back to the committee on that. So I know Melissa White is in a meeting right now, and then she'll be attending.
So I think there are two significant things to it. One is, I believe that the top end is 30%, and that the school district has the discretion of accepting the credits if it meets the requirements that the school has set forward towards graduation. Meaning you can't have 30% of the credits in music if the school allows only a certain number of credits applied towards graduation in music, that kind of thing. So I'm wondering what the local control loss is in this change.
The
And
purpose of
maybe it's in the bill already, that loss of local control from where the rules are currently, both of which are my concern.
the purpose of the amendment was to maintain local control. Without it, there were some concerns that the local school boards would have to accept up to 100% in alternative program credits. And this is to make sure that the 30% is mirrored under these rules or under this legislation.
Without saying it.
Correct, because if they change it to 20% or if they change it to 35%, this would make that change too. Welcome back, Madam Chair.
Yeah, what I see today is that we voted on an amendment, and as far as I can see, the amendment is exactly the same, except there's some reordering of the amendment. And just because of that, we have to re-vote on the amendment for the bill. The bill has not changed since last time.
I know. I personally, I think I failed to put two and two together. So just explaining, if I don't vote for the amendment, it'll be because I'm concerned about the how this compares to our current rules, and I'm just vague on the local control aspects of approving any credit that goes towards a degree that's granted by an institution that didn't offer the alternative courses.
Okay. Any further discussion on the amendment? Senator Prentice, do you have your hand up?
I do. I was just
Okay.
wondering, Madam Chair, if we would be able, I know we're in motion, we're moving forward, but it sounds like there's somebody from the Department of Education who may be able to come on and answer the question that at hand. And do we want to go on? Can we hold and get that answer and then move forward, or do we need to continue to proceed?
Well, it all depends on how long it's going to take.
I know.
It's nice to get it finished. But if we're talking about a couple of minutes, we can hold it off.
I mean, maybe we could do another bill and come back to it. But
Yep.
I'm just one voice, and I'm. Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Senator Hennessy has her hand raised, and Grant, who is under the attendees, has his hand raised. So,
Okay. Which one should we start with? Senator Hennessy? You were muted, Senator Hennessy.
Thank you. I just wanted to be clear to everyone, this is not a new amendment. This is the same amendment that we voted on last week.
Mhm.
It has the same intent. It was just we needed to correct some wording, so it actually had the authority that the intent was. So what it is to limit the number of credits to what it has already been set in rules, so that local control would remain intact, and that local schools wouldn't have to accept more than what is already in rules to address Senator Khan's concerns and Carl Ladd's concerns.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Grant? Bossy? Would you
Thank
like to speak?
Wanted to provide some background if it was helpful. I happened to be at the Department of Education when these rules were going through, and I helped Senator Hennessy on the amendment. The current rules are, as you stated, a 3,100 shall and may. So the local district shall accept at least 30% of these credits towards graduation, but can accept up to 100%. If a student just completed all the courses online and came in and said, I've done everything, I'd like my diploma, the local school could accept up to 100%. The concern in the bill was that without specific reference to the rules, Carl Ladd, for instance, thought it could be read as saying that the law would say you have to accept up to 100%. By referencing the rules, you're looping in that 3,100 shall may threshold. So the concern was, instead of writing 30% into the statute, you'll reference back to the rules. And then if there's ever a decision to change that threshold, you only have to change it in rules. You don't have to go back and change it in statute. I hope that's cleared things up instead of made things more confusing.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. Any questions of Grant? Senator Khan?
Grant, I think it's 1,300 is the rule number, but
Yeah, I'm at 30%. Yes, the rule 13 at 1,300.
Yeah, and then I'm just not getting to that rule.
I think part of the problem is the website has not been updated since the rules had been adopted, so they're hard to find online.
So the question is, is it a shall now in the rules?
The rule now is a shall to 30% and a may up to 100%.
Well, I'd love to confirm that. Okay. Thank you.
Senator Prentice, did you want to say something?
Nope.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion? So we're looking at the amendment.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to
Yeah.
point
Yes.
out, there is a person under the attendees who I'm not familiar with who has their hand raised, Amanda Phelps. She may be with DOE. I'm not 100% certain. Oh, Senator Khan is saying yes. So
She is, and she might be the exact right person.
super. Then I am bringing her in.
Okay.
Hi, Mayor. Thanks for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Amanda.
I just want to make sure you could find the rules. They are on our website, so that you could read them. If you go to the DOE website, over on who we are is State Board of Education. And And under State Board of Education, we have administrative rules approval section if you scroll down. And then you click State Board of Education, adopt, amend, repeal of rules. And if you go under adoptions on that page, the Learn Everywhere rules are ED 1400. And they're there in their adopted form. And the rule that you're looking for the, it's 1407.02A. And it says notwithstanding ED 306, schools shall accept at least 1/3 and may accept as much as 100%.
That's, thank you for confirming it.
You're welcome.
Are you all set then, Senator Khan?
I am.
So, yes, you're all set. Good. So can we vote on the amendment? Are you all ready? Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I need somebody
We've already made the motion, Madam Chair.
to accept. Okay, then I have to, then we have to vote on it. So Senator Hennessy votes,
Yes.
Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So that's 5-0 for the amendment. Now we have to go back to the underlying bill.
Madam Chair, Senator Hennessy has her hand raised, and I think it's to make a motion.
Okay, Senator Hennessy,
Thank you. As a,
I didn't hear you.
I move ought to pass as amended.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion of ought to pass for the underlying bill with the amendment. Senator Rishardi, second? Okay. Senator Khan,
Thank you. So here's why I'd like not to be voting on an ought to pass motion and prefer that we re-refer this so that we align ourselves with the process that was described to us during the hearing. So back to the hearing report, if we want to be informed by what we heard, the department testified that they are currently doing a standards review.
Mhm.
And under the standards review, they are looking at the rules that guide 193E. They're looking at educational rules, policies, and state statutes to clean up differences that exist between minimum standards in the rules and how they contradict or interact with state statutes. They want to make sure that competency-based system is supported by our minimum standards. And their next steps in their effort is then to engage various stakeholder groups. My point in raising what was provided to us in testimony and maybe scratching that a little bit deeper because I wanted to understand that more thoroughly. I was anticipating that the committee is likely to want to rush to pass this, and I think it really ought to give some consideration to the process that the department currently has underway in an administrative review. We're not at all informed by that process. And let me just give you a couple of examples. One of the items that's being introduced is personal finance literacy. And you can see how it's replacing computer science and digital literacy. So one, that might concern you as to where the identity for computer science and digital literacy go. I think in this world is pretty important. But the fact around personal finance literacy, you're going to find under education standards. Let me go to 306. You're going to find education standards covering personal financial literacy under Education Policy 306.38 for family and computer science education. And you're going to find it under 306, I believe it's 34, for business education. And my point is, if we don't dovetail these things, we're duplicating it, and it may already be done. I just don't think we have spent the time to understand the implications of the legislation. So there's, I think there's a process underway. We ought to be dovetailing with that process, taking advantage of what is learned and what kind of stakeholder input comes into that process. So that's my basic feeling. I probably have other disagreements about the implications for funding formula that there are here, and how it does not take into account other parts of RSA 193 in identifying what's going to be considered for funding in the future of these standards.
Okay.
So those are my couple of
Okay.
concerns. Why I'd be voting against an ought to pass, and why I'd support a re-refer.
Okay. So this particular bill is not taking effect until July 1st, 2023. So I think we have a little bit of time to find out what's going on otherwise. So let's continue with a vote. Can't remember now. Senator Prentice?
I was going to make a comment, not vote. Are we, can I make a comment?
Yeah, well, I was
we
hoping
voting?
to get a vote on the, yes, get a voting on the bill with the
Okay.
amendment. That's where we are.
We voted on the amendment already.
We have voted on the amendment, but
Right,
5-0
we're
on
voting-
the amendment.
Okay.
And now we're voting on the underlying bill. And Senator Khan has said no.
Okay.
I just expressed a perspective as to why I would prefer that the bill wasn't, the motion wasn't an ought to pass
Okay.
motion.
Okay. So I think that Senator Hennessy, who voted for the bills, ought to pass? Senator Hennessy, right?
Madam Chair, no one has voted yet. It was motioned ought to pass as amended by Senator Hennessy. It was seconded by Senator Ricciardi, and then it was opened up to discussion, which is where Senator Khan spoke to his reasonings of wishing to re-refer. And then Senator Prentice raised her hand and I think wanted to provide discussion, and then we would proceed to the vote. No one has voted just yet.
Okay. I can't keep track of all of
I
these.
know, it's a lot.
Senator Prentice, go ahead with your comment.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to echo Senator Khan's concerns. My feeling is that, that I feel rushed on this, and I'm just wondering why. I know that there's a time until the bill goes in, the law goes into effect, but it will go into effect based on the content of this, of what we pass. And if this is not the way, it hasn't been, thoroughly vetted, and it's not the way that it should be, or at least I think it could or should be, then that's what they're going to have to work on, not, what we come up with later. So I get what I'm just trying to say is I feel rushed. I'd prefer to vote down on a pass and go for re-refer. I think this is a significant it's a significant, meaningful piece of legislation. Obviously many of these bills are, but I don't know why we're rushing. I mean, I feel rushed. That's just me.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'm sorry if I threw a wrench in as we were moving along. My apologies.
We have Ava here who keeps track of who is voting and when and how, so, which is a terrific help. So we have had Senator Khan and Senator Prentice have voiced their opinion and added to the discussion. Are we now ready to vote for the underlying bill with the amendment? Or do we have more discussion? If not, then I'm ready for a motion on the bill.
So we could just jump right into voting because it was made by Senator Hennessy, seconded by Senator Rishardi. We had discussion and we're ready to go.
Okay,
Roll call.
Senator Prentice,
No.
Senator Khan,
No, as I look at the business education program and see again the business essentials and personal finance that it requires to meet that standard, I just don't think we've dovetailed this very well. So I'll continue to express an opposition to ought to pass. No.
okay. Senator Rishardi. We have those two votes. And Senator, the chair votes yes, so that's 3-2 for ought to pass.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I
on
don't-
342.
Madam Chair. So all I have is Senator Prentice and Senator Khan voicing their no votes. And then Senator Rishardi, I didn't hear her yes or no. So Senator Hennessy and Senator Rishardi just seconded the motion. They didn't actually vote just yet.
Okay. Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
okay.
And the
And I
chair,
said the chair votes yes, so that's 3-2. Are we all set now, Ava?
who is going to be taking this out?
Earlier, Senator Hennessy said she would take it out. Do you want to take it out again?
That's fine.
Okay, so Senator Hennessy will take it out. Okay, thank you. That's one. The next one I'm going to take up is 110. That was the one with Representative Smith wanted to change the disbursement of advocacy aid to go to the municipalities instead of to the districts, because one of the schools, one of the municipalities in his district had a problem with the district getting the money that they thought they should have gotten. I have looked into it and I have written to Representative Smith, and I said that we need some more time because I don't know if we want to change the whole disbursement system because of one municipality. So I told him that I would recommend re-refer. So on HB 110, that is my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Senator Hennessy? Senator Rishardi?
Madam
Yes.
Chair, is there any discussion before we proceed to the vote?
Okay, do you want to discuss this further?
I didn't know if I saw any hands or not, just before we started the vote.
Senator Prentice?
Madam Chair, I appreciate you reaching out to Representative Smith because that was one of my concerns, is that we were bending an entire system around one district, and I don't feel that it's necessary. I'd like to keep this the way that it is, but I appreciate that you reached out and got that clarification or expressed your concern and asked for a motion of re-refer. So I'll support that because otherwise I just want to ITL this. Okay, so
Okay.
thanks.
I'll just add that I think the testimony from the superintendent that about the number of transactions that this would lead to times 4 for his SAU. I think he said we'd go from 4 distributions to 20 distributions. It sounded like we're bending a system unnecessarily. I've actually have heard more complaints about when it goes to someplace other than the school district and then needs to go to the school district than I have from the other way around. So
Mhm.
Mr. Smith's complaint, I think, is specific, quite specific to his situation, and I agree. So,
Okay.
the
And I
chair
also,
is to
yeah, I did
re-refer.
sit down with a couple of people at the DOA to talk about it, and they explained that it would be doable to switch over, but I just can't see that it's necessary. So do we have a motion for re-refer? I said I would re-refer. Do I have a second for that?
Senator Hennessy seconded it, and then
Okay.
we just need all 5 votes from the members.
Okay, Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Khan.
Yes,
So we have 5-0 for re-refer. Shall we put that on consent?
Madam Chair, I'm so sorry. I'm going to need your vote and Senator Hennessy's vote. You both motioned. You motioned re-referred
Okay.
and then seconded by Senator Hennessy. I need your vote.
The chair is yes.
Senator
Senator
Hennessy.
Hennessy,
Yes.
so that's 5-0, and we can put it on consent. Senator Hennessy? On consent?
I move consent, Madam Chair.
I'll second it.
Senator Prentice seconds it. Any further discussion on it? I hope not. Senator Khan,
yes.
Senator Shardy,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes, so that's 5-0. Who wants to take it out?
I can take it out if you wish.
Senator Khan?
Perfect. I just still need the verbal votes from the 3 other members.
The verbal?
The yes or no. So I didn't get Senator Prentice, Senator Hennessy, or the chair voting yes on consent.
I think they did vote, but Senator Khan, Senator Prentice,
Yes.
and who else is missing?
Matt, and you vote, the chair voted yes. I just want to make sure I got all of them.
Okay,
Hennessy, yes.
Great.
so you have 5-0 now for the consent.
And Senator Khan said he'll take it out, which is great.
Senator Khan is taking it out. So that takes care of 110. The next one is 432. That is relative to the offenses that prevent employment in a school.
I move on to pass, Madam Chair.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Hold on. Four.
Senator Khan, you have an amendment.
I do.
(958)S. Did you want to speak to your amendment?
I want to find my amendment.
I'm in the
Oh,
OneDrive.
I got it. Okay. Certainly. This amendment was requested by the department. It was an amendment on a Senate bill that has been re-referred. It applies specifically to charter schools and their adoption of the code of conduct approved by the State Board of Education. So I think we've already voted well, all right. So the amendment has not been voted on by the committee. This seemed like a vehicle for bringing that forward, and hope you will vote to add this to the bill.
I move ought to pass on the amendment.
I'll second. Thank you.
I have a problem with the amendment. I totally agree with the, that section Code of Conduct for New Hampshire educators adopted by the department. I'm okay until you have added charter public school approval by the State Board of Education and charter public school approval by you had the two last sections. I'm fine with the first one. I don't remember the Board of Education asking for those other two things. Diana Fenton said that she would approve of adding the same rules for the charter school educators being obligated to follow this code of conduct. And I think as far as the criminal activities that can prevent employment, that's fine. The rest of them from the 3, I guess, and 2, it's just taken verbatim out of the RSA. And I really don't know why that should be part of this particular bill.
I can explain that. By adding, all it is doing is where you have section 2, and it says inserting it after paragraph D.
I couldn't find D. I don't know where you found that. And I looked at the RSAs, and the 2 sections that I was referring to is just taken verbatim out of the RSA.
Sorry, I went through this with OLS. This will take a sec. We're in 194B, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which section?
Well, do you have the amendment in front of you?
I do, but
Okay.
you need to look at the current statute to see it.
Because I looked it up, and everything is right in there.
94BA2. 94BA2. B3A2. If you're looking at the amendment, this adds in section 2, it adds a requirement to amend 193B3 paragraph 2 after subparagraph D, section EE. What is being done in 3 and 4 is making sure that EE is added into the statute.
But if it's already in the statute,
It can't be because we haven't added EE.
so
So
what is the EE then?
It is section 2. Section 2 is adding section EE. And currently, the way that it reads is it will, chartered public schools approved by the state board shall adopt the requirements set forth in RSA 2, A through BB and DD, and now it needs to say EE.
Yeah.
We are adopting B3A2.
The B3A 194, right?
Yeah, if you look at,
Charter public school approval by State Board of Education. And 2, the proposed charter school application shall be presented for approval directly to the State Board of Education. I guess I don't understand what that section has to do with the code of conduct and the list of offenses.
oh, well, the list of offenses, I mean, that, all right. So section 5, section 1 of the bill is adding a sexual misconduct action to the list of,
No, human trafficking.
it's human trafficking. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then in section 2, it adds the code of conduct.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that in section 2, there's a subsection EE related to the code of conduct. We then need to cross-reference that EE because right now it goes A through D. We've got to cross-reference the EE in a couple of other sections of charter school policy.
I have to say you lost me there. Totally lost me. Because I don't understand why the application and the acceptance of a charter school application has to be part of this bill. No cross-referencing or not. We have already said on section, I never know was a section 1, 2, new subparagraph, charter public schools. And I like to strike out the application. And I like to keep the code of conduct for New Hampshire educators. Amend RSA 194B3 2 by inserting after subparagraph DD, and there is no, the school makes a material misrepresentation in the application of contract application. Where you are?
Well, it is Ms. Fenton on the listening in. And if not, I mean, I'd suggest we try and have a conversation with her as to why to cross-reference this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there a problem with section 2 as well? I mean, is that what you're saying? You want to edit what's in section 2, which is directly lifted from the previous bill?
Well, I just said if we're not gonna, the way that, amendment is written right now, it includes the application for charter public schools. I want to strike that out and have the code of conduct is fine. That can stay in there. And under EE, I don't know, CC or E, a proposed policy to adopt and implement the code of conduct for New Hampshire educators adopted by this department in administrative rules. Failure to adopt and implement the code of conduct could result in the probation or revocation of the school's charter as governed by RSA 194B16. And in B16, we have charter revocation and probation. And what you're talking about is D, the school makes a material misinterpretation in its application. Is that part of the, I don't think that would be part of the criminal offenses.
It's not.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Senator Prentice.
and so I do see Diana Fenton on, she's got her hand up. And I
Okay,
think
good.
it'd be helpful since they asked, the Department of Education came forward for this bill, so just FYI, jumping in.
That would be great.
Good
Diana
morning.
Fenton, would you straighten us out or straighten me out because I don't understand why we have to have that section in there.
I'll either help straighten it out or make it clear as mud, Senator Ward. So I think it's important to recognize that section 1 that talks about RSA 189.13a, that is very separate and distinct from the code of conduct. We're just going to separate those out for a moment. So Representative Mullins' bill, which is the first section, just simply adds, as you said, the offense of human trafficking to the list of offenses which prohibit an individual from being employed as an educator in New Hampshire schools statewide.
Mhm.
At section 2, section EE is the language that you initially proposed in Senate Bill 81.
Yep.
The code of conduct be applicable to charter schools.
Mhm.
Senator Khan's amendment, what it does is he is correct. The following sections 3 and 4, are simply cross references. If you look at how the chartered public school law is created, RSA 194B3 talks about the application. And it lists out all the various pieces that have to be in the application. And that's where we're adding in this new subsection of EE. But Senator Khan is correct that we need, in order for it to be effective, we then needed to add in a cross-reference to 194B:3-a, which talks about the approval by the state board. And in that section, it says the content of such application shall conform to the requirements set forth in 194B3, and it lists all the provisions of the application. And that's why we needed to do that additional cross-reference. I don't think it changes anything of substance from what you had proposed in Senate Bill 81.
Well, Senate Bill 81, all it had at the end of the section 2 of that particular bill was the code of conduct being applicable to charter school educators as well. But what you're telling me is that what we have here in the amendment is necessary information because of the cross references.
That is correct. If we just have section 2, then when you look at what the state board has to review to approve it, there will be a disconnect between what the application requires and what the state board has to review in an application. A subsection, in particular, EE, will be missing.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you were here.
Happy to be here and happy to be of assistance. Thank you for having
So, Madam Chair, I move, I think maybe Senator Hennessy's already moved Amendment 958, but if that's Okay, Ava's saying she has.
And it's been seconded.
Very good.
So we have moved and second out to pass on amendment 958S. Okay, ready for a vote? Do you need to discuss it further? Senator DeShardy,
Yes.
Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes,
and Senator Ward votes yes. Okay, so the amendment has passed. Now let's look at the underlying bill. To have a motion to pass the bill as amended.
move on to pass.
Second.
Second by Rishardi. Any further discussion? Okay, Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes,
Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
and Senator Ward says yes. And who are we missing here?
You got
Senator
it.
Hennessy? Huh? Do we have 5? Who has not voted?
5-0 is what I got.
5-0. Do we need to put that on consent?
I think I would move consent.
I'll second
Okay,
that.
Second, Prentice.
Con Prentice, yeah.
I want to say all those in favor, but I can't. Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Khan,
Yes,
and Senator Ward. Yes, this is 5-0. Who wants to take it out?
I'm glad. Yeah, go ahead.
Senator Prentice?
I'll do it.
Senator Prentice, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So we are all set. We've passed 3 of them. I still have 1 to go, which is the school nurses, and I have yet to find somebody to discuss it in great detail. So that is 1 left over. The others 3 will go over to the clerk. And Ava be part of Thursdays,
That is,
right?
that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Yeah. And the two
Thank
that
you all.
the 2 that are on consent will be getting blurbs momentarily. And Senator Prentice, I think, has her hand raised to motion. Or excuse me, Senator Hennessy.
That is the Hennessy has her hand up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move we move out of executive session.
Senator Prentice seconds that. Senator Khan,
yes,
Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Ward, yes. And who else? Senator Prentice?
Yes.
Do we have all 5 of us now move out of executive session? Are we all set?
Senator Hennessy.
And then we need to motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Senator Prentice,
Motion to
Second.
adjourn.
Senator Rishardi, Senator Khan,
yes.
Senator Prentice,
Yes.
Senator Hennessy,
Yes.
Senator Rishardi,
Yes.
and Senator Ward votes yes. Thank you all for coming. These are done, and we have 1 more to go, and then we'll find out how many bills we'll get from the House when they meet on Wednesday. So it'll be interesting to see what we have to do. So thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.